Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day it is for you. My name is Justin Coolip and a whole host of names. And for anyone wondering why am I doing this, yes, I'm trying to exploit a market. I'm saying it early, that way no one hears me actually say this. But please, feel free to join us as we have this conversation today. I'm going to see if anyone jumps in here real quick like. I wish I could move the users in chat off to the side. Let's see, users. Pop out chat. Set you right there. There we go. Okay. Alright, looks like we are completely live. I don't see any issues going on. So hello everybody, my name is Coolump, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at some character builds, because yeah, I actually find this to be interesting. Theory crafting is something I take a lot of enjoyment out of. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at a couple of builds for each character, and until my wife says it's time for me to stop because it's her day, we're going to go ahead and work on this, alright? Alright. So our first character here is the one I'm most interested in playing. I'm not surprised that this ended up happening because I like... At the beginning of Borderlands 1, it was Mordecai. At the beginning of Borderlands 2, it was Zero. So first off, we are going to start with our Jabber pet. And the reason we want this specific Jabber is because the radiation barrels he throws, by holding F, you issue an attack command, he just chunks a radiation barrel at some people. That works for me. Extra damage, we're good to go. However, we are now going to jump over to our master set here, our blue box. And we're going to take Gamma Burst. Now, the reason we want Gamma Burst is the same reason that we want to take that first Jabber. Because he does a whole... when you toss out the Gamma Burst, it does a rift and radiation damage to nearby enemies. Now, what I want to do is I want to pair that together with the Grenade, a Singularity, and just keep them all inside that Gamma Burst, because the Gamma Burst goes off for 20 seconds. That's a lot of damage. Even if it's doing 1% ticks, that's 20% gone with the combination of a Singularity Grenade and this ability. Now, my pet will become irradiated, growing in size, and dealing radiation and damage when it attacks. Excellent as well. We need that type of thing. If your pet happens to be dead or downed, it'll automatically revive it with 30% of health, but it doubles the cooldown. Now, what we don't know at this time is if the cooldown starts when the ability is used, or if it's after it's done. So, if you take a look at Salvador's ability from Borderlands 2, where you saw what happened was, as soon as you use the ability, it began its cooldown. That's where the question is going to come in about this. Now, if it seems like it's going to be like all the other abilities, it's not going to start the cooldown until after the ability is over with. So that 30 seconds comes into 50 seconds before we can utilize it again. Now, because we're using the Jabber, we don't want this one so much. Because this is only for melee attacks. This here is the first thing we want to get, and we want to get all 3 points in it. Your gun damage is up by 12%. Duration is up by 45%. So now we're not looking at 20 seconds. We're looking at 33. And then increased damage for our pet. Just to get up to the 5 point. And Radiation Aura. Now, if we were using the Skag, specifically Charger Skag here, the Great Horn Skag. That would work even better with it, but because it doesn't do constant radiation damage, it can't throw barrels, anything like that, I don't want this so much. Next thing we need to do is pick up Frenzy. We want 5 stacks in Frenzy, because it jumps it up to 4% per stack, 10 stacks, that's 40% extra damage that you're doing. Now, that is a hunter skill, and they don't actually tell us what hunter skills are. I can't find anything on it. So that might only be when using specific weapons or something like that. I haven't figured out what a hunter skill is yet. Then we are going to get our Psycho Head on a stick. Is this a singularity? And we don't want to do shared damage, but what we do want to do is get some health back. And now, is this what I'm looking for? Yes. We want to extend the duration of our skill here. And what happens is every time you kill something, 3 extra seconds, up to 15 seconds, and up to 50% extra pet damage. And who knows? Maybe our Jabber will be able to equip a Unkempt Herald. You cannot say that's not a dirty combination. Because I think it's a dirty combination. If I think it's dirty, it's got to be dirty. Now, we do want mutated defenses. That's our oh shit button. And then, we don't want this one so much, so what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 points in the damage reflected. And then we're going to take the 1 point in the shared damage. Now, this makes this a little bit less survivable than what a lot of people would probably take, but it's just the way that I want it. Now, the Koi here we don't really want, but we do want Pack Tactics. Increased health, increased damage is always good. That's going to increase our survivability just a little bit, and then we're going to take this. Or no, sorry, we're increasing damage. And then we're going to take Dominance. Dominance I really like. So for instance, you have a 12 seconds dominance over anything that is not a beast, and then 24 seconds for anything that is a beast. So you're looking at 24% of their health gone, or 48% of their health gone. It is just ridiculous at how much damage that does on its own. And you can pop someone and walk away from them. That's the cool thing. Now, we do want to come over to here. And I've flip-flopped back and forth on this one, on what we want to do, because I do want to get Lick the Wounds here. But I also want Twin Fang, because extra projectiles can be pretty nice. And because I like torque shotguns in the new expansion, in the new game, it makes it even dirtier. But we're going to move back over to here first. Now, we are going to take this. We want that health regen. We want a lot of that health regen. Let's see. And I like Overclocked. I know some people aren't that big on it, but I am. And it's just because fire rate is good. And if I'm using a shotgun, increased fire rate is increased damage. And then I forgot 5. Oh yeah, I do have enough to get the first level, but it's only 5%. Let me see. What else did we have here that I wanted? I did want to get this. Kill skill. And I wanted to get this. And then the last 3 points are kind of meh wherever they go. But I do like this right here to go with it. Now, if you see what we've done, we're going to move the mouse over away from here. We got our jabber. So we're increased our movement by 5 speed. He throws the radiation barrels at folks. That's a good thing. Self-repairing system. Maximum health increase. Permanent health regeneration. 2% of max health per second. Not missing health, but max health. So 50 seconds, a minute of hiding. You're not sitting there still waiting for something to occur. You know you're good to go. Sick'em I really like because it reduces the attack cooldown and it gives us extra damage. Eager to Impress, again, pet kill cooldown 2.5 seconds, and the kill cooldown is 1.25 seconds. And remember, we took that because it reduces the action cooldown per enemy killed. So we can sit there and we can be tossing out barrels left and right. Overclocked is taken because the fire rate will be very nice to have. Lick the Wounds is just in case. I probably going to end up soloing a lot. And it'll be nice to have this to be able to solo with. Next thing we have is our Gamma Burst, which is going to be our action skill. And give me 1 second. I will be right back. I do apologize. All right, sorry about that. to my lurker. So where we left off was we had just started what we put into our blue tree. We have our Gamma Burst, which is our big boom, our action skill. And we're using that to create a radiation rifts to basically do a whole bunch of weakening and reducing enemies down in their health, which is a very important thing to do because I have a feeling radiation is going to need to be used in the upper levels, like basically how Slag was. Now, with that said, we increased our pet's damage. Now, this is really interesting. It doesn't say melee damage. It just says damage. We took Persistent Hunter, all 3 levels, and that's because we want... It's not so much for the extra gun damage, which is terrific. It's for that Persistent Hunter ability, for the action skill duration. Taking it from 20 seconds to nearly 30 seconds. And that's very important whenever we're looking at this. Then we took Who Rescued Who, which converts damage dealt into pet health and increases 2% of our maximum health again. So right now we're looking at 4% of our max health regenerated every single second. So every time we turn around, we're getting 4% of our health back. And that's something that we really wanted. I think that it's going to be important because when we take a look at the gameplay, we see a lot of bullets flying around. It is absolutely amazing. So next thing we picked up is He Bites, which is damage reflection. And again, it doesn't say melee damage. It just says damage back. So if my jabber is throwing around barrels and he starts getting shot at, it looks like it's supposed to reflect 15% of that damage back. The question is, does it count as a kill if he happens to kill, if it counts as an actual pet kill, or if it counts as a suicide? Frenzy is another thing that's really good because 4% per stack up to 10 stacks, that's 40% extra damage. We're talking a lot of pain being thrown downfield, if you know what I mean. Then we have Atomic Aura. Now this is our first augment for Gamma Burst, which gives our pets 4 damage per second, which I'm assuming going to scale with level, where it's just pumping up this aura of radiation damage for the duration of our action skill. Hive Mind was taken just because we needed to have an extra point somewhere. Psycho on a Stick, increase pet movement speed, increase pet damage, and that right there can add up to pretty good, and that's something I definitely wanted because it's a nice little ability. Increase pet damage. Again, it doesn't say melee damage, which is the important thing to consider whenever we take a look at this character. Mutated defenses, plus 30 resistance, plus 40% max pet health regenerated, and it only has a cooldown of 15 seconds. So hopefully that's long enough for us to get out of whatever situation that we're in to go ahead and pop everything back off. And then we have Endurance. Endurance is just 3 seconds per skill, 10% per kill, and I think it stacks up to 5 times. So we're looking at a lot of damage that we're able to output and keep that ability open for another 15 seconds. Now, another interesting thing to consider. When does the cooldown for the ability begin? Does it begin at the original 20 seconds? Or does it start the cooldown at the end of the total? So just to consider that might actually keep it going longer with a lower cooldown than what we realize it's going to be. Shared Spirit is not something I really want to do, but it does help out. It's for survivability, so whenever we start taking hits and we're below half health, our pet starts taking some of the damage. That is just kind of in there because it's a good survivability thing, and I wanted to get down to that extra point so I can get the dominance. And then we have Pack Tactics. Maximum health up 15%. damage up 15%. That is a lot of increases for our damage. And again, dominance, the capstone, that right there is just amazing. And if you'd like to see it all up front, right there, and that is a hell of a link. That is a hell of a link. And this is something, there's a couple things you might want to consider whenever we're doing that. You might want to consider just the raw. Hello, Kid Meow? I'm just going to call you Meow. You may also want to consider, if you don't want to do the radiation aura because of the jabber, you could do either the health regeneration, which is 20 seconds, 20% of max health, or even the additional output of the damage from gamma burst. Like a kid! Like the old puppet dog thing. And I'm just going over my, I don't want to call it Jabberwock, but it's, I call it Rad Jab. Sorry. This right here might be the Jabberwock build. Or, no, this is Jabberwock if I were to do a Beefcake Jabber. Oh, like Kid? Okay. And this is pretty much my build for the first build I'm going to be doing. And I like the dominance. I like the radiation aura. Just pump out that damage. If Skag had some way of doing radiation damage, like if this vomit acid was radioactive or even corrosive, sure, I would go with the guard Skag over the Jabber. But the Jabber is throwing radiation barrels. I like radiation. And one more time, if you want to see it yourself, that's the link for this particular build. And then we're going to move over to Moe's. And you'll see most of my builds fall around radiation. I got to try to exploit that new that new type of damage. Now, one thing you're going to see is I am going to dual arm this. Both of these will be the grenade launchers, and then eventually they're going to be the vanquishers. It's going pretty good. I'll be honest, I'm trying to exploit a market because no one's really streaming this, and I don't mind the extra views, and I've been wanting to talk about building my own characters, getting ahead of some of the people. Ooh, wow, that's a lot louder than I expected it to be. Thank you for the follow, kid. So, next character we're going to take a look into is Moe's. With Moe's, we're going double Vanquisher rockets, and we are going double nuke. Thank you, Ryder. Thank you for the follow so much, guys. And the first thing that we're going to want to do is we are going to increase Splash and Incendiary, because I just watched someone mispronounce Incendiary for like 2 hours. And then we're going to immediately switch these over to the rocket pods. Now, the thing that I like about the rocket pods is, even though they're unguided, you can still end up doing a ton of damage with them. Close quarters, and if you have any type of three-dimensional like vision, if you're a good sniper, you can snipe people with these rockets, I think. And let's see. And that doesn't apply to this because we're not using those yet. We're not using those. And the next thing we want to do is all splash damage has a chance to double its blast radius. I really like this because we're going to be doing a ton of splash damage. This character is all about splash damage. When I'm not nuking you, I'm splashing your damage. And the reason you keep seeing me look over here is everything else is over here on my right monitor. And of course, we're getting auto bear. And of course, that is because whenever the ability's over or we willingly hop out, Auto Bear continues to shoot for us. And then just to have these in here, we're going to drop these in because we're going to be switching these out. But as we play through the game, we're going to want to upgrade these to the homing rockets while we have it. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to get 4 additional points. And that's kind of where we start taking a look at what we have here. I intend to use... Then you'd probably be really good with the unguided rockets. We're going to use grenades, and I will do my best to find whatever bonus package there is in this game. So we're taking pull the pin, pull the holy pin. Don't count the 4, and 5 is right out, which should have been down here as the subtext. And then we're going to pick up this right here. Wait, hold on. Do I need to? Yes. We're going to pick up the first level of Means of Destruction. That way, since we're doing so much splash damage already, we're trying to get our grenades back. We're trying to get our ammos back. Let's go ahead and use it. And this right here is where we come into kind of a dilemma. What I'm going to do, I like all different kinds of music. Anywhere between country, western, all the way to to rock and roll, classic rock, even into rap and R&B and things like that. I have a wide variety of music that I like to listen to. Get me on some electro swing, like some really good electro swing, you'll have me all day long. We're going to increase our grenade carrying capacity. And that way we can throw out more of those grenades. Because if we imagine it's similar to... Yes, I haven't listened to them, like gone out of my way to listen to Tool in a very long time. I remember my older brother, he used to love them to death. If we imagine... the same type of grenades system that we had before, we might get up to 8 total grenades just off of the capacities, the storage decks. So this would give us up to maybe 11. But if we start out with just maybe 5 or maybe 6, if it's not played on the radio station, no. And then we're going to pick up this for survivability. 8% of your total health whenever you throw a grenade for every enemy hit, which can be a little bit or a lot. A bonus package is going to that's instant re-health. Next thing we want to get is the Fight for Our Life. This is something that I will enjoy using. And we are going to pick up all 5 levels of that. Followed by, whenever Mose deals second gun damage, there's a chance for a secondary explosion. Absolutely. 20%. It is enough for me. Then we're equipping our big booms here. And I believe it's this one. No, this is incendiary damage. More incendiary damage. Okay, which one was it? I forgot where the extra splash damage came from. Ooh. But we are going to go ahead and pick this up. And this is just so we have a little bit extra. And while the shields are activated, we do want increased health. I'm not so much worried about this, because we're just dealing the extra damage on Nickelback. I'll be honest there. I'm on Nickelback. And then we're going to pick up Drowning in Brass. That's mostly because even though it reduces your overall fire rate, it's not so much that it's impossible to deal with. But the gun damage output exceeds what you lose. So we're looking at a maximum of 7.5 loss, but a maximum of 20% damage outputted. Their music just never appealed to me. Simple as that. Then we're going to pick up our shield. Then we're going to pick up our bonus damage here too. And what was this one again? This was... No, not that. I wanted to pick up 5 points in the shock resistance. Yeah, I wish I had a better answer for that. I just don't. And then, because we want to continue to increase our incendiary damage, we are going to pick up our last 4 points here in the incendiary damage. Is this what? I'm confused. I apologize. Oh, Borderlands 3, it's coming out next month, and it is the fourth game, but the third numbered game in the Borderlands games. It's a shooter-looter that is probably the best example of what a shooter-looter should be. I just felt like doing, like I mentioned earlier, I just felt like doing my own stream today, going over what I like and what I want to see in out of my characters when I play through them. So that's what I'm doing. And it's nice to see a lot of new faces in my chat too. I don't mind lurkers at not one little bit. Now again, we're going to go ahead and take a look at what we've picked up. Fire in the Skagden, which is an increased damage with fire damage. We have Means of Destruction. By the way, with this weapon, with this build, we are going to use a lot of explosive weapons. This will probably be a Torg character. Through and through. Means of Destruction increases our ammo to be returned, as well as our grenades. And that's for every time we end up doing any type of splash damage, which is something that we will be doing a lot of. Torg Cross Promotion, 15% extra chance to increase our splash radius every time we hit. And that's a lot more enemies hit. That's a lot more chance to increase our ammo. A lot more chance to increase our grenade count. We do pick up the Vanquisher rocket pods. Pull the Holy Pin. Count to 3. My favorite card, don't really have one. It doesn't matter to me. Gets me from point A to point B, I'm cool. Auto Bear. We have Vampire because you know that a little bit of help right there will end up helping us out a lot. We don't have a ton of health regeneration. The 3 extra grenades. To the Last, which is a nice little ability where we get to throw hand grenades while we're in fight for our life. Hennessy? That sounds like a drink, not a car. Explosive Punctuation, which reduces our cooldown. And at a 2-minute cooldown, that is 30 seconds. Hammer Down Protocol, which is nukes. I love me a nuke or two. And and Short Fuse, so extra secondary chance for explosive damage, 75% of the gun. Now we have Security Bear, which adds us a... Iron Bear gets a little 20% health added as shields. Damage reduction, increased damage with armored infantry. Selfless Vengeance. Again, this is just kind of picking up for the extra health, the extra damage. But we don't want to put a ton into it because we don't want to remove that much damage, even though we should be healing it back relatively quickly. The fire rate goes down a little bit. That's a fast car. That's a really fast car. The drowning in brass, so we can increase the damage up to 60%. I mean, for the cost of about 10% of fire rate, which depending on the weapon might be a lot, might not be a lot, that really does matter. We have the Vladov Ingenuity. We're reducing the shock damage we take by almost 50% and increasing our maximum shields by 30%. That is something that is going to be enormously helpful. A can full of whoop ass, 25% recharge rate. And experimental munitions, 10% of damage dealt is done as bonus incendiary damage. I don't know. If I were to have to say a song off the top of my head, would probably be Schism. And Cloud of Lead. Every 5 shots does not consume ammo and bonus incendiary damage of 9%. Now you'll notice one of the things I did not take in here is any type of drain reduction on fuel or any type of extending it. And I think that's because the nukes have 2 shots apiece. So I think that's going to come out to 4 nukes, period. And that's something I don't want to see. If we've only got 4 nukes, we want to get in and out as quickly as possible, and then possibly he might fire off 2 more within that 15-second period of time. And if you'd like to see this, we're going to go ahead, we're going to copy that, we're going to paste that right there. So you can see that build. Next up is our lovely double agent here, Zane. And Zane is kind of an interesting thing because a lot of people are going with Clone and Drone, which essentially boils down to a grenade build. And even though I'm talking about like nuking the world, I'm not into the Clone and Drone. So we are going to begin by picking up the... I couldn't tell you if I heard it, man. Like I said, Tool's not a band I go out of my way to listen to, so I couldn't tell you what songs of theirs I like. The other ability we're going to be picking up is for survivability, and that is going to be our barrier. So we're going to begin, this is the tree that we're going to use the most. So first thing we're going to do, I might hear in a little bit, man, is we're going to increase our shields. Because this is all going to build up for this. And then we are going to want to pick up the recharge rate. Now, I'm pretty sure that somewhere in this game there's going to be another B. Which the amp damage is going to be amazing once we get it. The next thing we want to pick up is it's health regeneration. Not health regeneration, damage reduction. And then we're going to pick up the next spot here until we get our confidence here. While the shields are active, increase damage, increase accuracy. And that's a lot of... Oh, I'm 36, man. And we're picking up the dome. And we're picking up the dome pretty early because we really want that all the way around. Let me see. And I think it's one of these that we pick up later on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's something I hear. If I was still working at the fast food restaurant and I had my face shaved, I'd look about 10 years younger. Then we're going to pick up another point here. And now we kind of have to decide where we want to split it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in to adrenaline until we get down to our next level. Oh, wow. And I will apologize for my language then. I'm a horrible person to speak to children. And then this is going to take up that second spot. Increased gun damage. After a few seconds, the barrier takes damage. Now what we're going to do is, next thing, we want the Cryo Nova. I like Cryo. I like Novas. We're going to the Cryo Nova things. Then we're going to pick up this because it's going to recharge our shield. And then we're going to pick up this. Now, this is something that's pretty neat, because the longer you have your shield up at maximum, the greater the bonus up to 15 stacks. And that would be, let's see, up to 90% accuracy. And 115% handling, or 105 handling. Now the next thing is, I think we need 2 more to pick up our capstone here. Now that's kind of going to be wherever you want to place it. For me, I'm going to pick up this, and I'm going to get that. And then we're going to hop back over to our Sentinel. Now we're going to go ahead. Now, I'm not a weapon switcher a lot, so this doesn't do anything for me. However, this right here, I do like, because that's going to get me out of a sticky situation. I will pick up this, because I think Sentinel dropping grenades. I agree with you, Matius. Hold on one second. That's my current build for Flak before there might be any changes to it. Yes, I know it's the long link because I don't do tiny URLs. Now, one of the things I do want to pick up here, and the reason that we drop into here, is we are going to equip that cryo, and then we're going to get our lifesteal. I forget if we... Yes, we do. Reload till we get to here. Mathesis. Or Matisis. Yeah, Matisis. I'm sorry, man. I'm horrible with names. And then we're going to get the rocket pods, because I like rocket pods. Followed by the extra rounds here. And the kill skill as well. Yeah, when it comes to names, I'm absolutely horrendous with them. I do my best. But it's hard for me. English as a first language, sometimes doing different nationalities, or at least the language of the nationality, the phrasing of it, forget about it, man. And this is the start of my my Zane build. If you want to take a look at it and figure out if you'd like to improve on it. Again, we're using Sentinel for some of the frost damage, to be able to drop grenades throughout it. And then we're using the shield for our overall survivability, for extra damage when it comes to cryonovas, health regeneration, and this right here is why I like it. The distributed denial, imagine that with a B shield. Imagine it with any type of amp shield. You're going to be doing a ton of extra damage. And that right there is entirely worth it for me. And of course, I just shared that link if you'd like to take a look at it, see if anything you would think to improve upon it. If you guys gives, I haven't heard about it yet, but I haven't heard a direct no. Give me 1 second. I need to go refill my drink, okay? All right, back. Hello, hello, drug name. I can't pronounce your name, man. Ravitia. So, next actually is Amara. Now, Amara's one I haven't been able to figure out for myself. I don't know what I really want to do with her. One of the things I'm going to be doing is once I get the game in next month and blah blah blah, I'm gonna get all the characters, at least one of each character, up to max level. But some of these are really better for group play or solo play. But I'm definitely not a brawler style. So more than likely, I'm gonna go with an elemental build, much like most other people, which means we're gonna be starting with Phase Grasp. Now I might go with the Slam, but I think the cooler Slam ability is locked down right here, and I don't want to do that yet. So we'll figure out 50 as of current. Some of the big YouTube guys accidentally let it slip, or they were meant to let it slip, or something like that. But yeah, we know it's a level 50. Hello, Navi. So for me, since I'm going to be doing an elemental build, we are going to want to begin with Fist of the Elements. And that means I'm not so much worried about my accuracy. I am worried about status effects. Dots for days. So we are going to begin there, and just because we're right here, let's go ahead and equip our fire damage as our primary until we get something different that we might like better. Now, again, I don't know if I'm going to want to play her as melee. I'm not good with melee that much, and that's just a personal thing. It's nothing to say that other people can't play it well, but I'm not great at melee, so I'm going to avoid this one here. Her increases her melee damage. Ooh, maybe not. Because if that's just taking the melee damage and converting it to action skill... Oh, no, I see what it's saying. Next thing, I do want shock damage. I know some people are not going to take that. From what I understand, you're going to have your base game followed by... I think they called it Mayhem mode this time. That's assuming that there isn't an automatic that's not the third playthrough, and there's still a second one there before you hit 50. All right. Eternal Fist. Let's see, is what we're going to switch this over to, and we're going to take the increased damage. And I like singularities. Yes, I am. I stopped drinking soda. I'm allowed soda, and this is my own rules, not other people's rules. I'm allowed sodas once per week. And then that's just to help me more than anything else. And then we're going to want to go ahead. We're going to pick up 5 stacks of wildfire. And the wildfire we want, so we can go ahead and spread those dots around. Deep Well magazine. Because I'm trying to lose weight. Cutting out sodas, cutting out caffeine are ways to do that. So I used to drink about 3 20-ounce sodas a day, if not more. And one of the things that sodas do, because they have a lot of caffeine in them, is constrict your blood vessels. And I have a family that, except for one person in my family, that puts on weight later in their life. Like even right now, I'm at 230 something. And if I can cut out all of that sugar, all of those salts, I'm going to be doing myself a big old favor long term. The goal being trying to get healthier, because I know I'm not going to be as healthy as when I was like 23, rocking 6-pack abs and weighing like 140 pounds. Oh, dude, I miss those days. Something that's interesting here is I'm not sure how good this is going to actually be. The increased magazine size with elemental weapons, that might seem really good to have at times, but I'm not sure if it's something that you would definitely always want. Now, someone might be able to contradict me on that and say, oh yeah, well, this is a reason you might want to use it. It's just not my preference. So I'm not going to be picking this up until I actually take a look at some of the legendary weapons. Like if the XR or XV5 or whatever they called it in pre-sequel is in it, yeah, I'm going to pick this up. But for now, we're going to leave it off. Catharsis, trigger an elemental effect down damage along with any other. Oh, giant fix, locks enemies. Here we go. We ties that bind is going to be our ability here. Next thing, ricochet damage is okay, but catharsis, I want all 3 points in catharsis. And then we can pick up our ricochet. Fist over matter. Ooh. Let's see. And what do you do? 8-second cooldown. Nah, I'm going to go with this. Fist over matter. Still a singularity, bouncing it around. Yeah, that's what I want. And then we're going to melt people. Then we're going to pick up this. Now, why this is so effective for me is bonus elemental damage based off your action skill. That right there is 18% extra fire damage every single shot. Depends on who your favorite YouTuber is. If it's Sup Matto, there's a lot going on there that neither side really wants to put out. But that is a huge... What he was doing was hugely illegal. Oh, don't know that person. And then we're going to pick up Lifesteal. I like Lifesteal for her. It provides both solo and group play. Less time people have to pick you up, the better. Let's see. What do we have over here? All right. Now we're going to pick up, because I have to remember how I built this character. Violent Tapestry. Anytime we place a status effect, we get a stack of Rush. Activating her action skill consumes all stack of Rush. Meaning 30% increased total elemental chance, lasting for 20 seconds. That is a lot of extra ability on it. Next thing we want to take a look into, and this is where it gets kind of weird. I do want to take down the extra extra cooldown skill here. But even though we're only looking at like I think it was 26 seconds. I can go back and double check. Let's see. How long is that? 28 seconds. So we're looking at a reduction of 25%. 7 seconds reduced off of the time. And of course, we want to get Ascendant. This helps us out with everything. And it's very, very dangerous. Deliverance. Nope. That doesn't work for us. We're killing an enemy with a stack of rush. And then we're going to pick this up for the extra rush stacks. Finally ending out with extra damage. And a lot of what this is about doing is just bringing everyone in and... Well, you have a great day, man. Bringing people in and smashing them up. And doing it over and over and over again. Now, this is not a very elegant build. I'll be honest. I'm not looking to main her. And because I'm not looking to main her, well, see you later, man. It definitely creates a situation where I don't know all of her abilities like I do. Like, if you take a look at my flax, all of my flax have 120 seconds base. Is what the YouTubers who have actually played her has said. 120 seconds base. But there's plenty of skills to reduce it down. Let's go back over to her. So, where is it? It's somewhere, I think, in Bottomless Mags. It has a it has diminishing returns. Right here. Killing an enemy reduces Mo's active cooldown or action skill cooldown time. Has diminishing returns. So the question becomes is at what point are you just not recovering enough to make it worthwhile to play as Mo's? Mo's is actually my secondary character for me because I'm more interested in Flak. But you can reduce the cooldown a fair degree with that. I don't know when the diminishing returns happens. Having not played it, which I'll admit I am super jelly of the big boys being able to do, it is definitely something that is worthwhile to invest into depending on how you want to build. Because I'm going nuclear with her, at least on my first time playing her. I'm not going to need that because I don't think the nukes fire off that quickly. If it even reloads the nukes. So there might only be one shot. Which is why when I build her with 2 nukes. That way I can just keep the radiation damage coming. And it's very well possible that's not the case. Where we're looking at 2 rounds per arm, long reload time. Might be able to get off 6 shots total. But having not played the game, having not been able to invest this far down, because it's, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 7, 12. It's a 20-point investment, which puts you at level 22, and no one's been that high with modes as far as I know. So, I don't think anyone has seen the nukes yet. Or how long it takes for those weapons to reload. Much less come back around and just be able to fire them over and over again. Although it is something that I'm looking forward to. I really want to play Moe's after I've finished up my first Flak playthrough. I know a lot of people, they're doing some interesting things with Flak. There's the mega crit builds, like super critty builds. I mean, you could go with the skill, a hunter skill, hunter and kill skill, with him as well. So let's just take an invest into all of these and see what comes out. If I'm investing into this, I'm investing into that. That affects it. That's important to get. Let's see. Corrosive damage. I like the Scorcher idea better. We're going to do the extra racks, and then we're going to do the cooldown. Let's see. There we go. Racks don't count as pets. They're an action skill. It's like any other... it's like Amara's arms. They don't count as pets. I think it acts like a turret. You say, I want you to dive bomb there. And then they dive bomb that spot, and that's it. I don't think they hang around like anything else would. So we want to get... because we're going with Scorcher, we want to get Hunter skill here. Hunter kill skill. Anything else down here? Hunter skill. Now, this is just me goofing around, by the way. This is not a serious build or anything like that. Kill skill. And you know what? We're going to pick up the pick me up. So, what this is, and this is something that's stupid too. I can't believe I did this. So, this is all kill skills and hunter kill skills or hunter skills. What we have is ferocious attack, 4.8 per stack, 2% per stack, 10 stacks, and you get 4 seconds per, and that's going to be a hunter skill. Eager to impress, kill cooldown, and flat kill. What's that? Okay. Oh, it reduces attack commands cooldown by whoever kills an enemy. We got Rack Attack, Interplanetary Stalker, which is actually a pretty neat ability when you think about it. Because depending on who you kill, you can stack up different types of damages and different types of bonuses. So you kill one robot, and all of a sudden you have an advantage on killing other robots. Things like that's pretty neat to me. Second intention, so reload speed. After a hunter kill skill, the bonus is increased if it's a critical skill. We have... this was just to get to the next... one of the next levels, I remember. Reduction of our action skill. This is... We had to take something as well, but I like the idea of extra projectiles. And with sniper rifles, that's going to be stupid. Because it all depends on if the extra projectile is following behind the first one. Right? But I don't think it's going to be as great with shotguns. Because shotguns have so many projectiles already, it sounds like it would just add to the projectiles. We have our hunter skills become more effective with a longer duration. We have a hunter kill skill whenever killing a badass or stronger enemy. More damage, more crit damage, more handling with a 120-second duration. This is what a lot of people have been talking about when it comes to him as a crit machine. This right here is stupidly powerful. Because I don't think there is, in any of the games, another buff that last as long with that much of an advantage. That's again just to get to the next level, and that was just for picking it up. Over here we have first. Again, we had to do something to get out of this line down to further so we can pick up the hunter skill. But the hunter skill here is every time we do damage, stack of frenzy. And stack of frenzy increase damage. And this is a hunter kill skill. Gotta say, I like that. Extra damage. This, I don't know if it'd be any good solo or in a group. But it's definitely a fun little thing to play if you're looking for shits and giggles, if you ask me. I'm not sure how well this would turn out because the capstone would definitely help out. But I don't know how well this would work out as a build. I'm sure one of the better guys might be able to tell you. You could also do Gamma Burst here. If you did Gamma Burst, you could pump out a whole bunch of extra damage that might help you kill faster. By changing it up like this. Now all of a sudden, instead of using the racks, you teleport your, in this case, a spider ant. The spider ant over. The spider ant does a whole bunch of damage, knocking people around while it's pumping out a radiation ore, so it's taking extra damage. So I mean, there's a lot to be done here, and we haven't even scratched the surface because even this, like if we go to my big one, the one I like. This is my first one that I made. This is the one I intend to use. I call it Rad Jab. And that's more because of Radiation Jabber build. This one right here is the one I'm interested in doing. So when we get over here, we still have something that's pumping out damage. We have something that's increasing the time that our Gamma Burst is open, so we're still doing more damage. This right here might become completely inconceivably impossible to run. And with this build, I'm putting out a lot of damage. So let's say we get a legendary item, because I'm not so much focused on the jabber, I'm just worried about the barrel it throws. Let's say I get there's an item in there that turns the skag into radiation. That its vomit is radiation, or whenever it pops, whenever it charges at enemies and knocks them in the air, the damage is radiation damage. That might change entirely the way that you want to play. Like, see, even here. Let's say I take out the jabber. Let's say I go singularity guy here. And actually, this might be better thinking about it. Now I have the skag with its being irradiated because of the gamma burst. It's sucking everything in, which I'm a child at heart, so sucking in. And then it's still pushing out damage, and every time I kill one of those fools, anytime my pet kills one of those fools, you're just increasing the cycle of how long that up to 15 seconds longer. I mean, there's a lot to be done here, and I can't wait to experiment with all these. And the experimentation, I think, is going to be fantastic, because you're going to see a lot of people doing just strange things. And I'm going to be one of those people. As in, I'm going to enjoy figuring out what really works. Because in this case, if we take a look at this, we might actually, with this, I might want to put more into, I might actually want to put in Go for the Eyes instead of, let's see, what do I have over here? Instead of maybe Overclocked, for instance. Which means I lose Lick the Wounds. But I could also take down this. Reduce this because I already have other things that increases my maximum my health regeneration on a regular basis. I could literally sit here and mess with these things and find something that works. And this skill, this entire tree, could be something that you want to just blanket and then move into something else. So a lot of that is very interesting when you think about what we're doing and here in the near future. Like this. This right here might be great for the build. Just start pinging off those headshots. This one here might work really well. We don't know yet. We can only hypothesize, and I really love theory crafting. If you take a look at my YouTube channel, I have tons of theory videos about Kingdom Hearts 3 before it came out. And I don't mean like a few, I mean a lot. I mean, I have 75 videos all about theory crafting. I actually enjoy theory crafting. And I would love to be able to sit down with this game in person and take a look at how these things build out and how the overall effects are. What the legendary shields are like. What the legendary class mods are. I mean, there might be a shotgun that increases your cooldown. Imagine how awesome that would be with like Iron Bear. Because Iron Bear starts out at 120 seconds. Imagine one of the skills that you reduce it by 25%. Now just take that and just keep reducing it. You have the skill that reduces it by 1 second every time you make a kill. So there's a lot to be said here. And actually, now that I think about it, I probably will go... let's reset this. We're going to pick this up. We're going to pick up... We're not going to pick you up yet. We're going to start with go for the eyes. This. And this. Because we are hoping our pet's going to do a ton of damage. Head on a stick. We're going to pick up the Frenzy. We're going to pick up Mutated. We're going to pick up this. We're going to pick up Iridian Skag. We're going to pick up our health regeneration here. And health regeneration here. Now we have our dominance. I'm not big on pet sharing damage. And people can come at me on that. Well, what is the phrase? Don't at me, bro. And then maybe come over here and... Let's see. Let's reduce our damage here. Let's pick up some extra health. That's not only for our pets, but that's also for our allies. We want to pick up this. We can still pick up this. Drop 3 more points into there. And let's see. And let's go ahead and reflect that damage back. Now, take a look at the difference in the build. Some of the things are still the same. Like this right here, this group here, my equipped skills, all the same. But the way that we approached it is significantly different. Whenever your pet first attacks any enemy, automatically critical hit. 75% damage. Plus 75% damage. So if your pet's doing, let's see... I can't believe that's just 5 damage. But let's say your pet does 10 damage. That's 17 damage it's doing. First hit. Bam. Sucka. That's not to include that we already have a 50% increase. So we're doing 15 to start out with. Now we're doing, what is it? 8.5. That's 23 damage on our first hit. That's not including if we happen to be fully stacked out. So there's a lot going on, and I think the theory crafters, like, you're gonna have K6 on this. Sup Matto, whenever he returns, you're gonna have Jolts, who's all going to be taking a look at these, and I wouldn't be surprised if they have spent hours just looking at these charts, determining what's the best for each character as far as it's going right now. I think it's really interesting, though. Just with the little bit that I did here, the way that it's played isn't so significantly different, but it's different enough that we do have a completely different way of playing. We don't have a completely different way of playing, but we have it different enough where it's like, okay, well, now we have something different. Like, if you want to go for survivability instead, we avoid the stalker tree, and we come into here and we get like Scorcher with, where is it? Because there's a health regeneration over here. Like, right there. I thought I saw a health regen over here. No, I went health regen on this path. But let's say you want to do something a little bit more aggressive. Right here. You have your stalkers. You have your hunters. So, extra damage, extra reload. And I'm going to be maining him. And this will probably be my new build. I don't like sharing that much of the damage with the pet. Not for any like big critical reasons, but just because I don't think I want to keep that pet alive as long as possible. I have 7 animals at home right now. I don't want to see one of them have to jump in front of a bullet for me, you know what I mean? God. Fucking streamers. Oh, I'm just gonna casually hit my cat. Stupid people. Hold on, let me fling my cat over my desk. But yeah, if you take a look at the way that some of these are like, we're going to have huge, huge divergences. Like, let's take Moe's. Let's go back over to Moe's. Not my typical build. This is going to be my build. But let's take a look at this. This is our, not Endless Mags, Shield of Retribution. So, we have Fist Bear. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? No. Is it on Endless Mag? Flamethrower? Hold on one second. Oh, it is this one. So here we start out with a railgun. So we're starting out with railguns. From what I heard, they're hands down the best DPS from what the people were saying at the E3 and all that, as far as the comparisons, is right now highest output at the beginning of the game is going to be railguns. So we want the extra barrier. And what we want to pick up next is I don't know, because with this build it's different. So let's pick up extra gun damage. Now, railgun might as well increase the damage, but it increases your fuel drain, so we have to find a way to counteract that. And that's what's making the character building right now so fun for people. Like, this wouldn't work well with a railgun. It already has a slow shot, but this is a kill skill. So this will work for Moe's outside of... oh, no, that's right. This doesn't count for Iron Bear. So we could pick up 5 of that. And then I would be more inclined to go with the shock here. And yeah, I kind of keep things the same. And then entering Iron Bear, let's recharge our shield. Let's do some bonus incendiary damage. Let's throw some Molotovs out there. Let's increase that shield. What's that? That does reduce short time. So change our delay, increase our gun damage. I like that ability, actually. You increase your shield start recharging automatically the moment you get a critical hit. There's a lot in that. And then we're going to increase our damage there. Pick up the capstone, which is tenacious defense. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. And then we can start looking to reduce our fuel cost. Reduce it there. Pick this up because we're going to want to reduce the time, because the time from what I hear is 120 seconds, and there is an ability that reduces it by right here. If you invest all 5 points into here, you reduce your cooldown by 25 seconds, depending on how much this actually returns. So 5 seconds a return, that can be a lot or it can be a little, because diminishing returns might be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 0. Till you get no return back. And because we're rocking these rail guns, I don't think they do splash damage. Let's find out. Do you do splash damage? High velocity rounds. Nope. No splash. So we don't have to worry about dealing with the splash damage. But let's go ahead and pick this up here. Now we have extra. We're going to pick up that because right now I personally think that is one of the best skills on Moe's. Like, forget the turret. That right there is going to be amazing in fights. And then we're going to come over here. And because Moe's will probably have some issues. Let's see. I think this right here will be good. But what we're going to pick up is this, because it reduces the number of shots that we have that actually consume ammo. And from what I hear, that is going to be a big deal. However, here we go. That's the way we solve that. And then we can pick up 2 pops of that. Now, if you remember my original build, if you weren't here, I went mostly heavy into this tree because I like to nuke things. I'm an asshole. I'll admit it. So, take a look at how much difference there is. Look at how the skills are spread out amongst different things, and you'll see that there's going to be a lot of builds here that are just terrific to have. I mean, I don't have the matching weapons to reduce the let me see, where is it? I think it's on endless mags. Increases fire rate, sprint, shoot. Yeah, so I don't have this skill. So dual wielding that may not be so helpful. You might want to drop minigun on slot 2, reduce the heat. And see, if you're really good at doing the minigun shooting where you tap, 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 you could sit there for until you run out if you're good enough. So Moses, that's one of the reasons Moses is my second pick for whenever I come through and I start playing it. There's a lot that you can do with her alone. Like, you could even go, instead of minigun, go, let's see, not direct hit, right here. Bring everything in with a singularity every 7 shots. Every 7 rounds. Every 7th grenade, sorry. And I think the last time I looked at the screenshots, it was like 9 grenades or something like that. I'd have to double check on how many shots you get before you have to reload. So once every reload, at least. You could go missile launcher with the homing missiles. So let's say you have a bad aim. Bam, you solved your problem. Lock, 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 lock. Bam! So, you could even do what some people want to do and go straight melee with her. Let's see. Here we go. It's another, that's the lungy fist. I see a lot that can happen. Zane comes off as very plain to me. Now that we're like going over and we're more freeform now that I've done each one of them. Zane, I don't see a lot of super big options with. I at least not as far as that I can tell. Because you only have a couple of really options you can do. One of the big ones that have popped up a lot is grenade builds. So you do clone and drone. What is it? How do most people spec into this? No, I'm not. I wouldn't do that. You pick up this. Any other grenades here? No. And I think you might want to take the next level down, of course, just so you can get the next level. Then you come over here, and what you do is you start picking up all of these. So let's action skill up longer. Grenade mod here. Cryo Nova, at least in the beginning, because you'll want to update that as it goes. First shot from Zane's gun has a chance to fire a grenade. Up to 4%, all the way up to 20%. So, you've got a kill skill that's possibly throwing grenades. You've got your drone possibly throwing grenades. And now, every time you reload, imagine this with like a double shotgun. Bam, bam. Come on. The shield regeneration, of course. Let's see. I'd prefer that. I like this. Fight for your life. Yes, that's going to be super important. Yes. Pocket full of grenades. Here we go. Grenade regeneration up. We're going to take a look at only because I don't want to invest in a whole bunch of well, no, that actually works out well. So, whenever summoned, he consumes up to 3 grenades. For every grenade consumed, the Digistruct has a whole bunch of the clone has a whole bunch of extra things here. Yeah, that's a given. Ignore bullets is, of course, a positive thing to have. We're going to pump one more into there. Now, exact copy of Zane's weapon. Swapping places with the clone causes an increase in damage. Now, this is the basis for what's basically a grenade build. 12 points are still left over. I'm sure there's more things here that affects with grenades. Let's see. Fire rate, kill shot, return. Yeah. And this right here is deadly as all sin. It's interesting. It's what's the jumper cables? Oh yeah. There we go. That's one thing. And then we pick up some survivability here. Critical hits. Health regeneration. And look at this. This again is a ludicrous build. Because what's going to happen is reload, possible grenade thrown. You could even do a swappy on this. Like, okay, so where was it? So here. Weapon swap speeds increased. Next shot after firing the weapon does bonus cryo damage. So you now have a reason to swap your weapons out. I don't think I saw something that automatically begins to reload weapons while they're put away. Like, kind of like what Destiny has. I don't think I saw anything like that. But imagine that with this as well. Shoot, switch, shoot, switch, shoot, switch. Constantly searching for that grenade to be tossed out. And with something like a bonus package, or Lord forbid, a fastball, you could see a lot of damage going out real quick. And I see him kind of being droned down into just a couple of builds. Grenade, clone, and drone. Shield survivability, which would basically be for a group. But that'd be either shield clone or shield drone. And with a shield drone, you have less options. But there's a lot you can do with other things. There's probably going to be a kill skill build, where all you do is work around getting those kill skills, get this to reflex, reactivate. As all those cool down, you switch over to your next ability. You pop out your drone, or you pop out your clone. As clone finishes up and it starts to cool down, you switch over to the other one. And this is a 60-second cooldown. This is a 28-second cooldown. So every 30 seconds to 15 seconds, depending on how you time it, you're looking at a literal ton of damage that can go out, because all you're doing is just repumping out the skills. Now for me, Amara's the hardest one to pick apart, because the way that I see her is a lot like Maya. I didn't personally, and this is my feelings on the matter, it's not the unabashed truth, is I see a lot of it being based around whatever this skill happens to be, whatever your ability is. Because I see a lot of healing, not healing, but a lot of support functions in her trees. So let's take Mystic Assault. That's the astral projection. I don't see this being too great, to be honest. So let's start out with the rush. Reload speed for every stack of rush. So we want that. We want Ascendant. So the astral projection now projects forward, damaging everything in its path. It releases homing elemental projectiles that trigger her skill elemental effects off of enemies. And it hits up to 3 enemies. Okay, so does this one just not... This just damages everything in a path, and now this ricochets? Enemies damaged by her phase lock become phase locked. So you add this on, or you add this on, and you give yourself some survivability. It's not something that I see being a ton of fun. So let's go ahead and switch over this. We want to reduce our cooldowns. Even though it's already 28 seconds, reducing it by 25% brings it down 7 seconds. So we're popping that thing off every 21 seconds. I mean, a football game ends in 21 seconds. And this, we take a look at Reverberation, damaging everything in its path, but it's increased damage. So when we take a look at the other things, like, okay, charge time. So she is meant to use Malawan weapons, because Malawans are the only ones I noticed that have charge. Enemies take increased damage after being hit by the action skill. Of course, we want that. More homing projectiles. There we go. And now we have our capstone here. Her action skill can be activated while it's cooling down. This may only be used once per cooldown. Additionally, increases max number of rush skill stacks. So now we're dealing with 20 stacks. So 80, 90% extra damage next time it hits. That's great and all, but I don't see it being that much fun for some people. I mean, for some people, it's probably going to be amazing fun. I just don't see it for myself. This is another one that's really interesting because Fist of the Elements is all about doing elemental damage. I'm just wondering, like this. This is something Bro, I'm not a super melee person. If you've ever seen any of my playthroughs during Border Quest or anything like that, you'll know that I'm not good at doing the melee stuff. Dear God, I couldn't do some of the stuff like what Mopied's doing, where he is using the level 1 pistol for Gage. Yeah, Gage. With some glitches. Like he's doing old builds on purpose. So with this seems to be a very, very much support. So, or a survivability, sorry. So look at this. Constantly regenerating her health. Cool. This one does something that's a little bit different, and I hope it changes before the game comes out. It's up to 5% of missing health per second. What happens when you get to like 99 out of 100 damage? Does it just not regenerate it because there is no 5%, or does it continue to build up at 99.5, 99.102, I think it is. I don't know the exact math off of my head. So we have damage reduction here. What is this? Corrosive. Creates a nova when it hits enemies. Okay. So this is actually something that's pretty interesting to me. So she slams down, 10 enemies hit, 10 enemies nova. You might kill the entire group depending on how big the nova is. Line of fists that are up from the ground. Or leaps into the air, shoots it. Oh, here we go. Kamehameha. This is like a friggin' Kamehameha followed by a dragon punch to the face. So, increased melee damage. Increased movement. Increased shield regeneration. Movement speed. Mindfulness stacks. I just don't find this character so much fun to play. I mean, I'll probably get down on it. I'll probably build her when I go through the game. I'm probably going to build her as an elemental build. I just can't find a build that works for me that I would play. That at least I can think of at the moment. However, I talked y'all's guys ears off for a little bit, like an hour and a half and change. I hope y'all have a great day. If you have any comments, questions, please reach out to me. It's not like I have my whispers locked or anything like that. I enjoyed like going over this with you and just thank you for following, Navi. I thank you guys for being here. It was fun to go over the things with you and listen to me rant incessantly, because I do have a tendency to rant and tangent and rant off of a tangent, then rant off of a tangent that I've already tangented on. I'm a bad person about that. Focusing in is a difficult thing for me. But I hope all you guys have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Come September, I will be streaming this game live, assuming I have the time to do so. But please look forward to it. Y'all have a great day, great afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. And may joy be to absolutely every last one of you.